Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 27 of my Create This Book 2 series by me and Moriah Elizabeth. Today, I am going to be doing 4 more prompts in the book. Before I begin, be sure to like and subscribe, and let's see what I can come up with for today. Up first for today, we have this create a new prompt, which means I choose 2 pages in the book and combine the instructions to make a completely different prompt. I already chose the pages. I want to do this one, which was to merge 2 animals together. So I wrote down that I am going to merge 2 fall animals together because the other prompt that I want to do is this one that says to make seasonal decor. So I'm going to do this by making 2 fall animals into the same animal. I know that there are no animals that are native to the fall, and are only there around that season, but there are some animals that to me just make you think about fall. For example, bats. Those are spooky, that equals spooky season, fall. But for this, I decided to do a fox and a squirrel. Those are both kind of fall animals to me. They're out during that time, out during that season. So that's what I decided to combine. It looks like a fox, but then I made a bushier squirrel tail, and I also rounded the ears. That way they were a little more squirrelish as well. After turning squirrel into an adjective, it is now time to add in some color. I decided to stick with these colors because squirrels and foxes are already pretty similar in color because, they both got the reddish browns. So I decided to stick with that color scheme. That way it would make the most sense. I decided to add in some little fur textures using my darkest brown. And then with the lighter brown, I kind of went over the whole thing except for the tail because I wanted to put emphasis on the fact that the tail was different than a normal fox tail would be. So I decided to add a couple of different layers of colors onto the tail before finally going over it with a warm gray color. Then I added around all of the seasonal decoration around it. I added this acorn, squirrels, acorns. Then I added in some fall leaves in the background. After I was done coloring in the leaves, I couldn't leave out my favorite part, which is the white gel pen details. So I went ahead and added some of those in there as well, just to make the texture of the fur look a little bit more bushy and chaotic like a squirrel's does. Squirrels are always kind of crazy and fuzzy looking. So I added those in, and then it was time to cut it out. I decided to add in a couple of deeper shadows before putting it into the book. I used some glue and then I put it down, and then it got me thinking, what should we call this? Should it be a socks or a furl? So let me know what you think. What should this fox and squirrel combination be called? Let me know. And now it's time for the next prompt, which was to create disproportion. And this made me think of something that already happens in art, and it is called foreshortening. So that is when, for example, if somebody was holding their hand in front of their face in a picture, their hand would look just as big or bigger than their head, even though in real life your hand is smaller than your head. Go ahead and check. But anyway, then I went ahead and tried to implement that strategy and technique into this drawing. So it's kind of that pose I described. Her hand is in front of her face, kind of reaching toward us. So it's bigger than her face, even though that's not how it is in real life. I hope that I am making sense. Let me know if you understood, and let me know if you learned something. But anyway, that's the technique I did for that, and it was kind of challenging, but I think it turned out. I decided to try and challenge myself and do it one more time. This time I wanted this one's leg to be kind of extended outward and look larger than the rest and kind of out of place. So I think I fit the prompt, even though it was supposed to be proportionate in a way. It still all ended up being disproportioned. I really like this one. The other one, I'm like, okay, we tried something. So now it is time for the next prompt, which is to create a neon page. I really only have these 2 neon art supplies, and that's it. So I had to be creative with what I was coming up with. I decided to try and make kind of neon sign type of designs. So for this one, I'm doing a heart, and then I also decided to do a skull later on, but you'll see that soon. To create this effect, I had to go in no pencil, so just straight marker. We don't get any second chances here. And I went ahead and went in and just drew out the design and then kind of double lined it, and then went around with the yellow to make it look like it was glowing. I touched up all of my mistake parts, and then it was time to move on to the next design, which I said is going to be a skull. So I repeated that process over. I drew out my design, no second chances, with this orange marker, and then I went ahead and outlined it once again. That way it had 2 layers, and then went in with the yellow. I kind of wish I could find a white marker or pen that would show up on this paper. I tried the Posca pen and I tried a white gel pen because I felt like putting a strong white inside of the orange would have really sold the effect, but it was to no avail. It did not work, so I just stuck with what I got, and I still think it turned out pretty good, and it is definitely neon. This yellow is crazy. It kind of messes with your eyes, so be careful. Don't look for too long. But anyway, then I decided to add in some little glowing effects around them, which was fun. And then this one was completed. Let me know if you like the skull or the heart better, because I would be interested to know. And I just am looking and see I didn't add yellow around the left side of the skull, so I'll have to go back and fix that later. But anyway, on to the next prompt, which is to create disorientation. So I'm supposed to spin this page around kind of chaotically and then see where it lands. It landed like this, so this is going to be my new vertical line, and now I'm just going to draw out a whole bunch of stripes following that new vertical line with a ruler before I get started on decorating this page. Since the prompt said to decorate the page, it made me think about like almost a tablecloth or a pattern, but I wanted to kind of stick with that theme of like a pattern or a decoration in that way, so I decided to kind of create a fall type of design. So I wanted to stick with oranges and yellows in this whole thing. That way I could create a fall pattern that was just kind of fun and a little silly, but just something that you could see repeating itself for the holiday spooky season. So that's what I decided on. So I'm adding in a whole bunch of zigzags, stripes, solid colors, just a whole bunch of oranges and yellows, and then I decided to go ahead and add in a whole bunch of little pumpkin designs because I thought that would be really cute. And then I also decided to add in some candy corn designs later, but I had to add it in one color at a time, so it was kind of hard and confusing, but still worth trying. I added in the yellow too. I always get the candy corn color order. Oh my gosh, say that 5 times fast. But I always get the candy corn color order confused because I always think it's like white, yellow, orange. See, I'm already confusing what I even think it is. But anyway, it's not ombre, it's white, orange, and then yellow. But anyway, then I went ahead and added little faces to the pumpkins with this marker. I tried one before, but it didn't work, so I had to switch it up a little bit. But hey, we go with the flow here. And then after I did all of that, I felt like I still needed one more little spooky pattern. So I decided to add a little bat pattern at the bottom. And this is how it turned out. I think this page is so cute. It's pretty simple and pretty childish, but a lot of fun. So let's take a look back at the first prompt we did today, where we mixed these 2 prompts together to create a merge of fall animals, and I chose a fox and a squirrel to combine together. So again, let me know if this is a sox or a whirl. And then here is the next prompt where we created disproportions, and this was a little challenging but a lot of fun, and I especially like the one on the right. I think it turned out really cool and it was fun to challenge myself to this prompt. Here is the third one with our skeleton that's not neon on the left side and this neon heart sign, and I think this one turned out pretty cool and is definitely neon. And here is the last one where we spun the page around and created this pattern. Today's prompts were a lot of fun, but also really super challenging. So be sure to let me know which one of these 4 prompts was your favorite today. I would love to know, and I'd love to hear it in the comments. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!